Today's topic on This Baker Life is failure, and we're going to talk about it from a positive perspective. And I don't want you to look at this as foofiness. This is actually the reality of what nature believes failure is versus what society has told you failure is and how you get to success. Let's talk the society side first. Society has created two things that over time have sort of enveloped everyone in society, some of the whole world. It was done by, how many times have you heard this? 90% of the world's wealth is held by 10% of the world's people. Well, think about that. That was by construct. That doesn't happen by accident. And one of the constructs in this is failure and how failure impacts your life. You see, we're taught by society that failure is a way to derail you from experiencing the success you thought you would achieve in life, whether that's with a new business, whether that's something you're building, whether that's something you're doing in your personal life. Failure stops you from doing it in society's eyes. And you'll hear the word quit, or you'll hear the word impossible. Imagine if the word impossible was never invented. Imagine if there was no definition for the word impossible. You wouldn't be able to understand the concept of not being able to do something because everything would be possible. Imagine how that would change your life. The same goes for the word quit. We've been taught as society that if we fail, most of us should just quit. That is fake as well. There is no reason to quit when failing, because failure is not what you think it is. Failure is invented, at least the quitting side and the impossible side is invented by society. Think about this, a cave person. Do you think that if they missed catching that rabbit or whatever it is they were hunting for food, they ever thought it was impossible to get the rabbit, or that they ever quit getting the rabbit? You wouldn't be here if they did. That's because at that time, failure, not getting the rabbit that time, just meant you learned from it and you created success in another way. We've stopped as society doing that, and that is a construct in society. That is something that was done on purpose and still done on purpose today. Failure is in no way real in the way that society has constructed it. Failure is in a nature's side of things, more of an instruction manual. See, when we go back in society, and even less time than the cave people, Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times, 10,000 experiments before getting the light bulb right. Think about that. There was no word impossible in Edison's head. There was no word quit in Edison's head. That wasn't real at that time. And here we are with a ring light facing me right now. So failure is, let's think about this. Think about when you're putting together a crib, okay? And you've got 100 million pieces, and when you put the first two pieces together, you didn't get the crib. By society's definition, you just failed. There's no crib in that. You put two pieces together, there's no crib. But there's an instruction manual laying right to the side of you that tells you need 86 other pieces to complete that crib. Now that instruction manual will tell you that if you put two pieces together, you failed. That's still not the crib, and that's correct. But that doesn't mean you stop. It means you go on to step 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 until you get the crib. You see, that is what failure truly is in nature. It is nature's instruction manual and roadmap to success. It is not meant to ever get you to quit, and it is not meant to ever get you to say something is impossible. In fact, failure is to drive you towards success in nature's eyes. And if you use it in that way, you will succeed every single time. If you think about the book Think and Grow Rich, if you've ever read that, you know exactly the example I'm going to give you. But if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And not just for the thinking part, But for some of the examples around failure, they're really earlier in the book. So they're maybe chapter 1, chapter 2. There is an example in there that talks about a very famous person starting up a mine. Found a mine, found some precious metals in that mine, bought all of this equipment to start mining those precious metals, did so to relative success. How many of you experienced in your initial business some relative success to begin with? And in that relative success, got some precious metals, but those precious metals started to run out. And they started to run out, and they started to run out. And then he and his business partner decided, that's it. We need to quit. There's no more metal here. No more precious metal. There's nothing left to mine. And they made some money and they were somewhat successful, but they went ahead and sold their mining equipment, gently covered over the mine that they had discovered, and sold their mining equipment to another person. Well, this other person, of course, heard the story as part of the sale of the mine that they were mining. And what this other person did was they took that story of failure, they took that roadmap, they took that path of failure, which they failed by definition. They could not find any more precious metal. But the next person who bought that equipment said, I'm going to talk to an expert in mining. And that expert told him that you should always find a fault line when you're mining. That's where the riches really truly are. And what did he do? He went back to that mine, opened it up, brought the equipment he had just bought from this person, from this couple of people. And wouldn't you know it, 3 feet to the right was a fault line full of precious metals. And that is the key here. He became a multi-millionaire because he just took the story the failure was telling and took it and twisted it and found the roadmap in that failure, which was just 3 feet to the right. So let me ask you, when you think about failure, what is the roadmap telling you? Drop the quit, drop the impossible word, look at the roadmap you're getting. It feels like a fail right now, but it's not. It's the roadmap to success. It's how nature is telling you to be successful at what you're trying to do. So how are you going to get 3 feet to the right? What is your roadmap? Take failure, analyze it, find that roadmap. Success could be just 3 feet to the right.